Hoisting the petard out of the comfy chair is not an easy thing to do. But if you just take 1 hour or 2 hours a day to intersperse some exercise, oh, did I say that word, some specific moving details with a few things for the brain, as in the other and accompanying video that goes with this, I think that you'll be happier after about a week. You're going to start feeling better about yourself. Your Parkinson's may actually be responding better because your balance might actually be better. And all because of the television set. All because of the ads on the TV. You're not really missing much if you miss the ads on the TV. But it's just like having a timer. Instead of sitting there and having to set a timer that goes ding and looking at the timer and getting out of the chair and doing something, you've got it built in right there. And I talk about some of the negatives of what happens when we're watching television, and ads are just useless information where we could be taking that time and filling our brains with things that are helping, that are positive for Parkinson's, positive for life in general. If you're sitting in a lazy boy, if you're sitting in the soft sofa, I would suggest taking a towel or taking a pillow and trying to put it behind you, just a little below your shoulder blades, if you find that you're sitting scrunched forward like this in that soft chair. When you have everything shoved forward like this, not only is it bad for your neck, not only is it bad for your posture, but it's bad because you're scrunching all of the air out of your lungs. You put something behind you here, and it forces you to sit upright when you're leaning back. You're going to have a lot more air in here. You're going to have more oxygen to the brain. You're going to be able to think a little bit quicker, and you're going to be more comfortable when you push down on the arms of that chair and get yourself moving. We've just taken ourselves off of the comfy chair, and we're going to spend the next few minutes, and very few minutes, but still, we're going to spend a few minutes getting our heart rate up instead of just sitting in the chair. Now you can see that what I'm doing here is kind of shoving my fanny backwards a little bit and bringing my arms up. Apparently over in China, this is not uncommon to see people just standing and doing this instead of doing full Tai Chi. This is very simple to do, and believe it or not, even though you're going pretty slow, your heart rate will be higher because you're moving something. Been sitting in that chair, we're going to try and get a little bit of blood and oxygen to the brain. So just leaning it forward and bringing the hands up. We've got a break here. This is on CNN. So we usually have about 2 to 4 minutes of commercial break on that. So we can do some of these, and then we can move just to turning the body and bringing the arms part way up. Remember, we're not doing it aerobically, but we do want to do it quickly enough that we feel like we're not falling asleep while we're moving, rocking back and forth. Want to get those arms up, up. You're going to find yourself breathing harder as the heart catches up with the hands. Just a couple more. And then we could just start with a real easy walk in place. Of course, you could take your commercial break and actually walk around your house and then go and sit back down. That's a great way to bring your heart rate up. But if you'd rather just stand in front of the chair, go ahead and kind of in place, just bringing the feet a few inches off of the ground. Not bringing the knees up high. And if you want, you can add the arms to it. Anytime you have arms acting with legs, you're actually making yourself work approximately 50% harder than if you were doing legs alone. Now we can take and do a fourth exercise, and what we can do is bring our knees up slightly higher, and depending on your balance level, you might want to have your feet out to the side maybe a little in closer, just bringing the knees up a little bit higher. But what I'd really like to see you do is step forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, because that kind of helps get you out of that real seated position that you were in. You have one foot back where normally you wouldn't have the foot back if you were sitting down. You have everything like this. So here comes our program, and the next thing that we'll be doing is something for flexibility. Here is something for flexibility that's pretty simple to do. Let's go ahead and pretend like this is your kitchen counter. It's just that I'm set up here and I don't really have my kitchen counter set up for you. But if you had a kitchen counter, you'd turn and face your kitchen counter like this. And you can put your feet apart, pretending like my hand is here. Just rock yourself back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is loosening up the hips. You've been sitting in the chair. Sitting doesn't do anyone any favors unless you're awfully tired. So you want to just rock back and forth. You're going to be getting this whole area some attention to it, as well as the lower back, working these muscles back here too, and helping keep them flexible. Then what you can do is a back reach. So you're still hanging onto your counter, and you'll take one hand and turning your body with it, reach back, reach across. You're still holding onto your counter with the other hand. Reach back and down, reach across, up and back and down, up and down. And then you do it on the other side. Want to do an equal number on each side. What this does, it presses the shoulder blades together, and that helps keep you from curling in your chair. You know how you're sitting there and those arms are coming forward? This is getting everything stretched backward. So that's good for flexibility, as well as having the arms in the different positions. The standard arm over, just standing here and reaching over. Standing and reaching, standing and reaching. I know I'm kind of out of the camera range here, but I wanted to have room to put in any kind of printing that I would want to put in so that I can cue you with writing. And equal number on the other side. I think I did 4 on the first side, so we'll want to do 4 on this side as well. And then the leg swing, one of my favorite exercises. You want to just stand up, torso up, good form, looking forward. Give a few leg swings, and again, we're getting this back leg swing going, which helps negate this seated position. So there's some flexibility there, and of course we're opening the hips forward and back. Moving the legs. You can add an arm swing to it if you'd like. And it's probably just about time to go sit back down in the chair. One of the 3 subcategories I had talked about getting off of our chair was balance. And people with Parkinson's seldom have very good balance. I'll be using a couple of things from Tai Chi, Moving for Better Balance, developed to prevent falls in the elderly, and it improves postural stability in people with Parkinson's. The important thing in practicing Tai Chi or anything that's similar to it is the heel down, toe up, which is called the flex. This is a flexed foot as opposed to a pointed foot. And this makes muscle balance in the legs because it's starting to strengthen these muscles that normally aren't really used. If we were to just step sideways, heel, toe, shifting our weight over, and heel, toe, shifting our weight over, we are starting to develop a more positive step, a less hesitant step, and you'll notice I kind of bend my knees with it as I go side to side. That's part of why this works, is that it's such a deliberate step, a thoughtful step. If we were to walk forward, we'd walk forward, heel, toe, put our weight forward, and we could bring the next foot in. Then we could step again, heel, toe, bring our weight forward, and step in. To step backwards, we're going to take just a very small step, unless you can take a larger step, but a lot of people have problems with Parkinson's. So we'll take a small step back, and you'll notice the toe hits first, then the heel, then we rock our weight back, lift the toe, and come back, and we rock our weight back before we shift the foot, so we really think about it. So, bending the knee a little, heel down, toe down, step in. Bend the knees, heel down, toe down, step in. Stepping back, bent knees, toe, heel, rock your weight, and come in, toe, heel, rock your weight, and then come in, and do that a few times. We're going to take this into kind of a moderate parting horse's mane, and what we'll do is take that same step, just kind of out a little bit to the front, and put the weight forward as the hands come slightly apart. Then you just rock it back, step in, step out, bring the hands apart, and rock that weight forward. I'm going to make this real easy for you so you can practice it mindlessly in front of the 3 payments only of $19.95. So make sure that the heel hits. Make sure that you do the weight shift. Again, that's part of learning how to balance while you're moving. Don't have to do too much. Remember, we're just waiting for the program to come back on. Now, you'll notice those bent knees. That's important for any kind of balance. So even if you're just going to balance and practicing the balance with your hand on something to begin with and standing on one foot, don't just stand on one foot and look around. Bend the knee a little, then lift the foot and eyes forward onto one point. Then you can go ahead and occasionally take the hand off, stand up, come over, take hold, bend the knee of the other leg, bring up the foot, having the eyes forward onto something, and then you can just lift your hand off of it occasionally and put the hand back. This is a good safety feature for you. So just stand there for a few seconds on one foot and then the other, and that helps strengthen as well in the thighs, and that keeps you from falling. If you're going sideways and you're starting to fall or you've tripped, you've strengthened that thigh muscle. One more little thing, a moving balance, and we're just going to step into the corners. If you were standing in a box, you'd step your right foot into the box and the weight would come forward and come back. Step your left foot into the corner of the box and step back. Right foot back, left foot back. Right foot forward, heel, toe. Left, heel, toe, weight shift, come back. Right foot, toe, heel, weight shift, come forward, and toe, heel, and come forward. One more time, and heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, come forward, and toe, heel, come forward, and off to the chair again. Last, I'm going to give you 4 exercises that are Parkinson-specific, that each of the 4 address more than one Parkinson's symptom to do in front of the TV. The scrunch and the smile. I'd like you to scrunch your face and the hands inward, and then go and scrunch, and bring your eyebrows up and smile as you do this. Scrunch and smile, and scrunch and smile. Why am I doing this? It's so that I can fight facial masking. And I'm opening my hands because so often the hands become very cupped and curled, and this is something that really opens up those hands. I want you to see what's happening with those hands. So here we go, and it's open and scrunch, and open and scrunch, and open. So the scrunch and smile, also stretch the elastic across the chest, stretching elastic. And we're doing this because so often the movements when you have Parkinson's are tight to the body. And we want to try and get the body to remember that we can move in big, generous movements here. And look at that. It helps with posture. Again, we're pushing those shoulder blades together to deactivate all that scrunching that we do sometimes sitting in that big lazy boy. Probably trademark registered. Then we're going to do a point at your flexed toe and a point at the flexed toe. So you're going foot to foot, flexing the toe like I showed you before, and pointing and pointing, pointing and pointing. Once you get the idea down, you don't have to look down, but look what happens. I'm taking my shoulders back. This shoulder's going back so that this shoulder can go forward, forward and back. Good for the posture, good for flexibility. Doing the flexed foot is good for the balance. Head up. And then we're going to do spider push-ups with our hands, pushing in and out, in and out. But we're going to be going down and up, and down and up as we do this. Up and down and up. Strengthening the thighs to help for postural stability and falls. And working the hands, trying to flatten them totally out, bringing the palms completely together. You probably won't have to do too many of these before you start feeling the thighs at work, and you'll say, I'd really rather do this, until your arms get tired, and then you're going to want to do this again. Or maybe this. Be sure and have someone join you when you do your scrunch and smile. It's so much more fun when there's more than one. As much as I love coffee, I cannot imagine sitting and watching a half-an-hour infomercial on coffee. I'd rather just make a cup of coffee and drink it. I hope that you got some good ideas about watching television and interspersing some things with it. Things for the mind, things for the body. We don't need to have this useless information crowding our already crowded brain. We can take the time, and instead of putting this stuff into it, we can learn how to move a little bit differently. Or we can check something out that we've never really learned about and take even 4 minutes to learn something new, and then put the book down or stop your computer and say, well, I'll look at that as the next commercial, and learn something important, or find something funny, or have a laugh. But get off of the fanny now and then and get some exercise, some oxygen from exercise to your brain. I will have these on Facebook in a form that you'll be able to copy, and you can print it out and set it right next to your chair. That way you're not going to have me on there all the time. You can just have your little cheat sheet and maybe enjoy a cup of